Can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of ArtByTai, and with my co-host, Adrian Taiwali'i, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two. DOD45. Hello, fellow humans.
People of Earth, how are you?
How are you, Adrian?
Yo, Adrian, we did it.
Excellent.
Excellent. That's great news. Welcome to the DOD45 Show, where you get to watch me draw while we have a nice little chat with our special guest. And our guest today is renowned artist Bob Dob. We look forward to having a conversation with him, and our hope is you'll get to know our guest more personally through our discussion. I know when I get to know an artist better, I tend to enjoy their art more. So if you find that you like our guest, head over to his website and see how you can support. My theory is that if we don't support the arts, then it will die, and that would be a travesty. Without art, I always say it, without art, we'd be a society of primates throwing feces at each other. And I hate to even say it, but we are on the precipice of that, kind of, it feels like. No?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I'm maybe being dramatic with it. Possibly.
I'm not a primate. Or am I?
No, I'm talking about the art.
Wait, people aren't, right?
Well, we used to be primates. Well, it depends on who you talk to.
Maybe
People may have issues with that.
Maybe we're Bigfoot.
You mean that Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Hey, to start it off real quick, we formed an alliance with UGS Mag, or Uggs Mag, or Underground Sound magazine. It's an awesome magazine. Just got this in the mail today, sent to all the previous copies. I believe these are for this year. This is a monthly magazine. Check it out. Everyone on the covers, like a lot of the people we've had on there. And there's Chesky. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's a cool alliance. Don't know exactly what we'll end up, how we'll utilize that alliance. We're not really like transactional relationship kind of people. Like, we don't do the quid pro quo thing. After our K the Aquanaut episode, I had reached out to him and just said, like I did with all our other quote unquote sponsors, and just said, yo, we have the same people, we're aligned with the same people, we should form an alliance. So that's a good one. I'm happy about that. Follow us on Instagram at ArtByTai. That's where you see my posts regarding my artwork. And then follow at DOD45W. That's where you'll find posts about our podcast. Most importantly, subscribe to the ArtByTai YouTube channel, because that's where we post the new episodes. That's where you're watching or listening to right now.
I'm watching it. Watching it right here.
I'm watching?
Yeah.
But I have a question. We're thinking about, or you had mentioned somewhere about switching to hemp.
Oh, no, as a society.
Oh,
we do need to switch to hemp.
Not us as a family.
Oh, for what?
I don't know. You just said we need to start switching to hemp.
Rope tying?
I don't know. That you said it. What were you talking about?
No, I have it in our notes that as a society, it's like they're doing. I mean, we've always known, right? We always known that bamboo and hemp could be good sustainable sources for products like toilet paper and wood and this and that. But they're finding out now that the roots of hemp go so far down into the soil, it breaks up like bad clay and it takes out tons of heavy metals. So if you've got some property that was used to be sprayed on, it's a good way to clean it up. And then you can...
That used to get sprayed on?
Like cornfield that they used
sprayed on with what?
Like insecticides and pesticides. It can help clean that out.
Oh, the hemp would?
Yeah, and it can rejuvenate the soil very well. And then you can harvest it, make like IKEA furniture. You can do all sorts of stuff. Toilet paper.
Yeah,
It can create tons of jobs, and then you can rotate that crop and put in something like edible that's not for cows.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It's just we're wasting time. So
When we've been talking about that hemp thing, not just you and I, or not you and I, like
No.
since I was in junior
Oh,
high school,
right.
like when, all my stoner friends, like that's all we always said. We're like, we need to go into hemp. Not like, and then I'm not making fun of that. Like it's just been known forever.
I know, and it's just taking way too long, and we really need an initiative. I think it might be illegal.
Didn't George Washington, one of the like presidents wasn't that one of their crops, hemp? And and they were pushing for it, and then some sort of industry got involved, and they weren't going to make their money out of it.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, it may have been. I thought it was some sort of farming initiative, or like something. There wasn't money. There wasn't like the kind of money to be made from it. So is kiboshed a bad word? Kiboshed it, but kind of like the water powered car,
Right.
that was out fucking decades and decades ago. I think the guy was from Cincinnati that designed that. Anyway,
Yeah, it's we're knocking down like a football field a second of forest, and it's just not a sustainable
I
practice
know,
for us
but
to do.
even though we say that, is something really going to happen? And we've known.
No, I'm just saying, like, we already have all this pasture, and we're making, like, our poor farmers aren't making crap off of it. They're just selling it so that they can feed cows quickly, so that we can all have hamburger helper for dinner tonight.
Well, yeah, that's
So
the problem.
it's just a good way to get rid of our deforestation.
Yeah, but in our capitalistic
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Society-
You can create so
capitalism
many
on steroids.
You can create so many jobs through hemp.
Oh no, I'm 100% agree. I'm sure.
Not just farmer. I'm just talking about like from furniture, building,
Yeah.
cabinets. You
Makes
could do
the
toilet
oils,
paper.
right? Oils. Yeah.
I'm not talking about like CBD, but
No,
of
no,
course
no,
you
no,
could
no.
do that.
Oil, and you could build everything out of it.
You can. I think it's like they have figured out a way to make it more stronger than steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous. It's time.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
It is. It is time.
Past time. It's past.
Hey, I was gonna say, you know what we ought to do? We ought to hire Storm Davis, Storm from Sage Francis.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, from Strange Famous. We ought to hire Storm to just be in the live chats of the episode
He's so
premieres.
quick. It takes me 5 minutes to figure out what, like, to compute.
Yeah, he's fun. When he's in on the live chats for the episodes, it's a lot of fun because
Yeah.
he's got something very clever to say all the time.
Yeah, I have to scroll back in my head and go, what is he talking about? And then, like, he's already onto something else when I'm commenting about 3 comments that he commented 3
He's
comments ago.
super quick-witted. We are planning to try to get him as a guest on the show at some point. I don't know what's holding back on that. Well, maybe when like some big project is coming out from Strange Famous, maybe that'd be the more beneficial time to have him in. Maybe that's kind of what he's waiting on or something.
Maybe he's waiting for, like, a tsunami.
Tsunami.
A big storm.
A tsunami. Guacamole tsunami. Hey, I did have this. I was going to say I have zero interest in platforms that try to make money off of artists.
Okay.
Okay. I just said that out because it was in the notes and I didn't know how to like transition into
You're
it.
fine.
But I got a message from somebody that was like, "Hey, love your artwork. I want you to be part of this new platform for artists where we connect you with collectors and blah blah blah, and we'll give it. You'll be one of the early artists on the platform, and so we'll give you the first 3 months free." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what do you mean first 3 months free? Why would I? I just do not like companies that take that." Their platform is that they take money from the artists who are creating the artwork. I just do not like that. Take the money
What
out of
about
the
a gallery?
sales. So I was going to say that's that is totally different to me. Galleries charging commission fees, that's totally fine as long as they're reasonable commission fees. But they're not charging you to be at the gallery. I think anything over 60% is a little weird. But there are some of those galleries that charge artists to hang in their gallery. That's a sleazy gig to me.
There's wholesale that would probably be about 60%, but I guess you're agreeing on them buying a certain amount. Right?
Well, no, just charging artists, like take the money out of a commission or take the money out of like artwork that's sold. That's different. It just seems sleazy to be trying to get money from artists. I don't like it. I just do not like that on any front, music, whatever. Like, hey, we'll charge you. I don't even know how to explain.
Well, the real thing that an artist could give for charity that's not monetary is art.
What are we doing for charity? Why are we talking about charity?
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Like if you're asking artists for money is basically what you're saying.
No.
Stop asking artists for money, but an artist can do more than give you money. They can give you a creation from which you could make money off. I know that you're not talking about charity. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
People should still, like, arts and charity kind of go hand in hand, and I don't mind donating.
Yeah, if someone
art for fundraising.
Yeah. So you're going on a different, because that I don't mind people asking for art. I just mean like new companies that are like, hey, pay up front. I don't know. I'll drop it. One other quick thing. Have you ever heard of champing?
No.
Champing is a thing that's in the UK where you can stay in a church. You can camp in a church. It's like a fee. You pay like a $20 fee, and they can, like, depending on the size of the church, they're like old churches, and they're set up with beds and like cooking spaces, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've never even thought of that, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah, we drove past quite a few that were. I feel like they were abandoned, so I think that's a great way to bring them back.
Yeah,
or keep them active.
Yeah, I saw that on a show and thought that was awesome. All right, our guest is here. Let me just run through a quick few things some facts about our guest. Our guest today is Bob Dob, aka Bob Dob. He's got many,
Alima?
Okay, yeah. He's got a lot of famous paintings out there. One that comes to mind for most people is his Death of an Icon piece. That's the piece where Big Bird's been slain, and he's like Big Bird's lying in a puddle of blood. Yeah, it's an awesome piece. He's also known for his pieces of Mario and Luigi's mug shots. That Mario and Luigi as cholos riding those playground spring animal thingies. What do you call those? Playground spring animal thingies?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you call them?
Bouncy.
Yeah. One of my favorites of his is his Hunter S. Thompson piece called Ride You Bastard. It's Hunter S. Thompson riding on like a Yoshi-looking dragon thing, spring toy playground thing. His Head series, those are also very recognizable. There's Peel Head, Pot Head, Coke Head, Amp Head, and it's, like a character in their heads the shape of the... Check those out. Those are cool. He's got a super distinctive style, pop culture and surf skate culture of Southern California. It's very recognizable. When you see it, if you've seen it before, you immediately know, oh, that's him. I first saw his work maybe a decade ago or something at a vegan restaurant in Florida. The restaurant, remember, our cousin met us for dinner, and she brought chocolate-covered macadamia nuts from Hawaii, because she's from Hawaii. And she gave it to our kids as a gift, and like the waiter ran over from the... Remember, she's like, you can't have that in here, or some shit. Yeah. She was like freaking out because it was chocolate.
It's not vegan.
Yeah, it's not vegan. He grew up in Hermosa Beach. We used to do a show in Hermosa. I think he lives in Redondo Beach now. He studied at Otis College of Art and Design. This is really interesting. He had bone cancer when he was 13 years old. Oh, I know. Isn't that awful? So I think it's super interesting because it was bedridden. He had dreams of becoming a professional baseball player. But because of that, he wasn't able to do that. So he started playing a punk band, playing music. He was in a punk band called Lunacy, and then he went to school for art. He also states his son has a milk allergy. And he posted, I think he posted somewhere where he had colic and was really stubborn with eating. And so he said milk was the devil in our house. And so he created a character named Louie based off of the little devil. That's a character that turns up in a lot of his work, the character Louie. It's a little devil. And only the milk makes Louie drunk. That's how he kind of uses the character. That is really interesting to me and you, because our son also was allergic to milk. And I wonder if it gave his son the same kind of thing that it did for our kids. But I'm maybe going to ask him about that.
Another good reason to start hemp.
Yeah.
Hemp milk.
He's collected by, his work's collected by all kinds of people. Ian McShane, Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien owns his work. Nick Cassavetes, Kate Flannery, just a lot of people. He's super legit, an incredibly talented artist, and we're lucky to have him. So that's my cue. I've babbled on enough. Let's meet our guest, and we'll be right back with Bob Dob, aka Bob Dobby.
Yo, what's up? Peace, everybody. You are about to witness the spectacular DOD45 in your face and on your computer, all up in your fucking desktop, maybe your telephone, wherever you listen. Check it out, man. My man ArtByTai, he's killing it. He's always killing it with his pen drawings. You're about to watch and witness Bob Dob, the amazing Bob Dob. Wow, what a legend. So, Bob Dob, take it away, DOD45.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
Well, hey, thank you for joining us on the show. It's a real honor and it's a pleasure to have you here. So thank you for joining us.
No, this is awesome.
For the next 45 minutes, I'm going to draw you a picture and then we'll have a discussion. But before I start the timer, I like to provide like an arc for an episode. And so I start with the first thing. So if today was your last day on this planet, what would you have as your breakfast?
Oh, man. I'd have probably steak and eggs and some kind of potatoes. And, well, why not? It's the last day, so there'd probably be some pancakes in there, too. I don't know. I'd probably eat until I burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it all.
Yeah.
Well, in line with my mantra, live every day like it's your last, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
This morning I had eggs, and my daughter didn't finish her waffles, so I had half of a waffle.
Oh, so you almost went for it anyway.
I almost did, yeah. Kind of, yes.
Missing the steak and potatoes, though.
Yeah.
I haven't. The steak and egg breakfast is a really good breakfast. I haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah, there's a place over here called Classic Burger that we used to always go there on the weekend. It was good hangover food.
Yeah.
So and that's actually where I would go. Definitely. And of course, my friends would have to be there too, since it's the last day on Earth. So. Yeah,
good call. All right. So I'll start this timer and I'll get working on your drawing. I don't know if you can see it. I do a little pencil outline of it so that I'm not bogged down with trying to come up with a concept.
I see that. It's awesome.
So we got Stewie riding an orca and a little tiger back here riding on the backside of the orca, and then I'm doing it in your what do you call the series
spring.
where they're on?
I don't know. I think they're called rockers. So I had to Google it because I'm like, what are those things called? And you don't see many ones of those though.
I'm
I fabricate some crazy ones. That might be an inspiration for one of my shows, to just find someone that can fiberglass some crazy.
Oh, that'd be great.
Demon ones, yeah. No,
yeah, because they're too quote unquote dangerous now for kids.
Yeah, you could probably find them around and then just repaint them.
My son was on one. There was we were in Chicago, and there was like 8 of these black unicorns with like rainbow horns and like and oh my gosh, it was like right out of one of my paintings. So I made him get on the the rocker and like rock a little bit. I'll send you a picture of it. It's
That's
hilarious.
great. Yeah. It's funny. I was just thinking the last time I saw one was at Yalama Beach. We were in Yalama Beach, like that was 15 years ago, and our kids.
Oh, really?
We had a picture of our kids. Yeah, right. That was Yalama Beach, right, Adrian?
I don't
You go up
remember.
there a lot. We just got back from up near Andrews Air Force Base up there. You're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if, like I said, it was 15 years ago, but it was when we were there, nobody was there. I'm sure that's not the case anymore.
No, you can't even get a spot now.
Oh,
basically.
yeah. There were like
Yeah.
2 people camping. It was great.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, all right. I'll get drawing for you, and we'll see how far I go while I'm asking you some questions. So, all right. I just started the timer. So the first Sophie's Choice question I have for you is, who makes a better Super Mario? Bob Hoskins or Captain Lou Albano?
Oh. I got to go with Bob Hoskins on that.
I didn't even know that that Lou Albano, he was Mario.
I
Did
knew
you know
that.
that? Oh,
I
yeah, I didn't
found
know
that
that.
out. Yeah, recently, yeah. Because I started doing more and more research on, I mean, it's a Japanese, like video game kind of, but there's Italian characters and.
The only thing I know about it is that I played, I loved Mario, so I don't even know like any of the inside stuff on it.
Well, I was terrible playing it, but I love playing it. Like I never rescued Princess Peach in the end. I just gave up. I think I started surfing at the time, so it was like this phase of like, Nintendo and Top Gun and Super Mario Bros. And like it was this whole late 80s kind of thing that was like, yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. And then, but then that, well, once it came time to start doing, like there was a 8-bit video game show at 1988, and I was trying to figure out something to do because there's always like some kind of dark humor in my work. So, the first one I did was Mario and Donkey Kong having a beer on the on like some steel beams. And then I did the show again the following year. I did Luigi like as a mug shot, and then the guy commissioned me to do Mario. I don't know why I did Luigi first. I think because everybody was painting Mario.
Yeah.
And then it just became like, okay, I really love doing this. This is fun, kind of creating these, alternate stories about these characters. And, I think everybody has kind of a dark side to them. So I really kind of pushed that with some of the paintings. And the one show I did where I think I don't know if you've seen it, but where Mario and Luigi become gangbangers in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bowser's like in the other gang, and yeah, that painting was the big one in that, where there's like a giant explosion and guns and I kept walking by that building in downtown LA, and I was like, this would be so cool to do in like a painting with the Mario Brothers or something. And I think that building now is like the Apple store or something. Changed it, but it was always a rundown building, and I just loved the look of it.
What? Speaking on the dark side of the pieces, your Death of an Icon piece, did that stir up like controversy or like real anger from people? Did you ever notice?
Yeah, it did actually. With some of these characters, you just can't. I have this painting and this idea for Hello Kitty also, but I'm like, I'm not afraid to do it, but it's just, I know it's gonna be, I'm gonna get some backlash. But yeah, on that one, like, people were emailing me like, how could you do that to Big Bird? Like, I hope your hands fall off, and
Yeah.
it was crazy.
People are so stupid.
So that means that I'm doing something right, I think. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, yeah.
But I get what you're saying. You're like, oh, do I really want to deal with all these people?
Yeah. But Mickey Mouse is like fair game, apparently. Like everybody can do.
Yeah.
It's
Even still though, it's funny. Like it's funny how offended people will get. Cause I have a piece where the Rancor is tearing Mickey apart, but Mickey's like a piece of cheese. But like when people see it, they're like, how could you do that to Mickey? And I'm like, what are you?
Right.
You know that Mickey's not real, and
You're just kind of in denial. Yeah, you're a little bit in denial. I kind of do it too a little bit like when because I'm a huge like Misfits and Danzig fan, and when Danzig got beat up by like that heavy metal guy, like I couldn't watch it because I see Danzig as this, hardcore like punker, badass kind of thing. But now it's like, well, now you realize he's almost 70 now, but still at the time when he got in that fight, I was like, no, I don't want to see the video of him.
Yeah, no. Which is more a more adorable dumb? Bobby Hill from King of the Hill or Dauber from Coach?
Ooh, I think Bobby from King of the Hill.
Did you ever watch that show, Coach?
I did watch Coach. That what's the guy, the dad's name on that, or the main? TJ? No, not TJ. He's in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
I even watched that.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of had that Cheers kind of vibe to it, or something.
The other show that was like that was Wings. I loved that show, and the guy. Oh my God, he's in that movie Sideways. I can never remember his name. He was in Tombstone also, but he plays kind of the dumb mechanic, I think.
Oh yeah. Are you a dork for nostalgia for stuff like that?
Yeah, a little bit. No, a little bit. Yeah, I keep going. I got my go-to shows I watch that whenever they're on, I'll just like watch it for a while. Three's Company and things like that.
Oh yeah, Three's Company is a good one.
I don't know how the hell. Yeah, my parents let me watch that. I guess looking at it now, it's like nothing compared to what my kids are watching now. But that was a great show.
It really was. It was well written too, and it was like I forget the blondes, the actress that played the blonde. Well, I love them both. Yeah, love them all.
Summers, and then I forget Joyce something was the other. Yeah, and then John Ritter.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those shows. I love old TV like that. It was a different time. Things seemed to be a little easier, or a little less stressful, or something. But who knows? Maybe it was just when we were younger or something.
Yes.
One more. What do you think you saw more of as a kid? The Price is Right with Bob Barker or Bob Ross painting happy clouds and trees?
Definitely The Price is Right, because I think that was always Bob Ross was always on. You had to find it on PBS, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bob Barker was just always on during the day, so it was like, he was always on.
It really felt like that show was on just constantly.
Yeah.
I think it came on right after the cartoons kind of ended.
Wait, for the day, and it just ran all day long?
It feels like it did.
It was like mid-morning. Well, where we were, it was like mid-morning.
Bonanza was on. Some of that stuff reminds me of having to stay home when I was sick, though. Like,
Yeah.
there was like nothing on. There was only soap operas on between like 11:30 to 2, and it was just terrible. And I was just like, what am I gonna do? There was there was nothing like it is now. Yeah, and soap operas just make me want to throw up.
Oh they're awful.
You actually did have to you're like, fine, I'll sleep then.
Yeah.
You actually did have to rest if you stayed home from school. You're sick.
I think Price is Right is still on the air, isn't it?
Yeah, with Drew Carey.
I think so.
No, after that thing that happened with Drew, I think isn't Wayne Brady do it now?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Vice versa.
Oh, what happened with Drew? I forgot.
I think his girlfriend, or his wife, or not, maybe not wife, long-term girlfriend was murdered, like really badly murdered. Yeah, and like a real crazy murder, and he was like going to the trials to put the dude away or some shit. Right. Yeah, it was some sort of crazy story.
That is crazy.
Awful.
Yeah.
I think of Bob Barker all the time when I see unneutered dogs now. Because he was such an advocate to spay and neuter, and you almost never see these big old balls on these dogs anymore. And I'm always like, oh my gosh, those things need like a
It is weird to see them.
Put those away. Put some underwear on that dog. It is crazy. But I always think that's because when we were kids, we saw neutered dogs all the time. But I feel like he was the spay and neuter guy.
Yeah, that was how he ended every episode, right? Spay and neuter your pets.
Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
You teach, right? You teach art, or you did teach?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you became a better artist like after you started teaching?
Yes, I think just being exposed to like, because you learn a lot from your students too. So they'd come in like with a different style, and then constantly just giving demos and working on their projects to show them how they can approach something. Like you just kind of, it's all mileage on the brush or a pencil. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
They really do inspire me and some of the other faculty, because sometimes you're not aware of some of the other artists that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And videos, and look at this person, and it's I don't know, yeah, it's awesome. I love that part of teaching. There's other parts that are not so great, but
sure.
Yeah.
But you're able to take from it. I just know, like, we've got an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old, and I started feeling like I was out of my, like, I was aging out. I was starting to have that feeling, but my kids kept me connected to youth, and because I feel like that's needed when you're creating. At least that's what how I feel.
Yeah.
But now that they're getting older and there's less like interaction with them, I'm starting to feel like I'm aging out again.
Yeah, except they're mute. I mean, I'm glad that my two boys, they for the most part listen to a lot of the same stuff I listen to, but they'll throw in, like, my daughter's into like that mumble rap.
Oh yeah.
And then my son kind of puts it on. Like, that's just the rule in my car. Like, you cannot put that on. I cannot listen to it. Like, if you want to put on NWA or like, Too Short or something, or even like De La Soul or any of that stuff, like, put on the stuff where you can actually hear and understand the lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's funny. That you would be much rather have Too Short.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of you. Please, can we just listen to Two Live Crew?
I know, exactly.
said no parent ever.
I know.
Oh my God! Like, put it on. I don't care. They've already heard everything. I've already lost control of my kids. Like,
yeah. How old are they?
17, and the twins are. They're about to turn 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all in high school.
It is cool how much. Well, maybe that's just our kids, but it seems like kids are much more knowledgeable about music. They don't get to do all the vinyl digging and all that stuff, but they seem to know a lot of music. I hope. I don't know. Maybe that's just our kids.
I think they get influenced a little too much, like whatever TikTok or social media is.
Right.
So luckily they get, and they get, my older one goes to concerts, so he just went up to Punk in the Park up in San Francisco, and then I flew him to last summer. Him and his friend and my wife, we went to go see the original Misfits in Phoenix.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome.
That was insane. That was like the best concert I've ever been to. Because they're old, but man, they sounded just amazing.
Yeah, you don't lose that part.
No.
Well, we've been going to some of the older heads shows, and it is funny to watch them like sit down in the middle of their set.
Yeah.
They take a seat.
Grab onto the speaker.
Yeah, lean on the speakers, and
yeah, they do. Well, that's why I kind of can respect that. We saw Green Day at the Rose Bowl out here when they were on that tour. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. But oh my God, like Billy Joe on whatever.
yeah,
you're like, dude, 2.5 hours. He was just nonstop, and it was just the most amazing thing. Like, you got your money's worth. Like, he sounded good, and he was just nonstop, like singing and playing guitar, like running around. Like, it was just impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The other guys in the band were like taking a break, and yeah.
Hey, which commission would you rather get hit up for at this particular moment? A Dimebag Darrell or a Doyle Wolfgang?
Ooh, I think right now, actually, I already have I have a Dimebag in the works. So.
Oh, nice.
I think it would be that one, because Doyle would be fun, but I mean, that's a lot of muscles.
I can't believe how that's so much muscle. It almost looks like he's AI.
Well, he doesn't even play the guitar, I don't think. If you see him live, he's just slamming his fist down, and I'm like, there's no way that's not the chord I'm hearing. Like, when we see the Misfits, there's another guy back there playing.
Oh yeah.
So and he's on the stage and everything, but I'm like, okay, like, because there's no way Doyle's up there. It looks like he's just like trying to break the strings on his guitar, and I'm just, but he literally looks like Frankenstein up there.
Yeah.
Guitar.
That's how I feel when you see a Guar show. I'm like, how are they even playing with those things on their hands? Maybe someone is playing it in the background.
Yeah.
So, growing up with an admiration for the punk scene, were you unruly or rebellious?
Not really.
Oh.
Yeah, no. A lot of my friends were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out more in the band I was in. I think that was kind of part of it. And just, I was in the middle of things, but I was never the instigator or did anything that I would get in trouble here and there, but it wasn't like, because it was the whole rebirth of punk, right? The whole renaissance, the year that punk broke. What was it, 92 or 93?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was and up until that point, I was too young to be a part of the original, punk scene that was a part of the late 70s, early 80s. So there was like this weird thing, like my sister's records, kind of like I got into, like, she had like the Go-Go's and Billy Idol and like Prince. Mm-hmm. So I was like listening to a lot of that. And then it got kind of weird where it was like I never really got into any of that. There was, my wife was into all that hair metal stuff. But, once I was like into like, I think maybe there was when I first learned to play guitar, it was like all those like Skid Row and Guns N' Roses and all that stuff. Because they had really good guitar players in the band. So I was kind of got a little bit like, and Skid Row, for what they were, they wrote like good songs,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Metallica's like And Justice for All came out, and then it was like Pantera, but I was still into like like punk and everything. And then the local band out here, Pennywise, like their second album came out, and I was like, oh my god, like what is this? And then the next just like getting really into Metallica, like the bass player had the Misfits shirt on, and then my favorite skateboarder, Steve Caballero, had the Misfits shirt on in the Search for Animal Chin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got exposed to the Misfits, and then I was like, oh my god, this is just insane. It was just like I can't believe I had never really heard of it. And then Suicidal Tendencies and all that stuff. So I think the bands I listened to were very rebellious, and the band we were in was very, like, not violent, but it was like the shows got out of hand a lot.
That was the Lunacy?
Yeah, Lunacy. So yeah, we definitely came out through the music and things like that, but I was never really rebellious in any way.
Yeah, so was your experience with it more about the music itself than the aggression and the
we had
angst?
We were playing we had pretty melodic, like catchy song. There's always a hook in our song, and I think that came from the Misfits and Pantera. Like we were in we played fucking Hostile at the talent show in senior year, and the singer blew, oh my god, it must have sounded horrible because the PA system was like the legit PA system of the auditorium, and we weren't mic'd up or anything. So the drummer, it must have just been the singer's vocals and I think he blew out the speakers.
Oh shit. Yeah, of course.
It was but it must have sounded terrible. You probably only heard his voice. Yeah.
It was the house. It was like the house speakers, like in the auditorium. That's funny.
And then we weren't mic'd up or anything. There's a video of it, and I can't find it anymore. I wish I would have had it.
Oh, something that's like someone you knew recorded, or something you had?
I think my mom recorded it or something. And
that's awesome.
I can't find it. Yeah, no, she was. Yeah, So that was definitely an awesome time.
That is a different time too. I was recently at our niece's dance thing at school, and they were up on the stage. Man, they had like state of the art visuals and lighting and sound.
Yeah,
all this that wasn't the case when we were in school.
No.
Do you listen to music while you're creating?
Yeah, but it's mostly so it's mostly like jazz or just things that aren't and this is just me personally. I need to. I can't have like catchy music playing because it distracts me.
Yeah.
So if there's just like background, and jazz is like such a good creative music to put on because it's kind of mundane, like, and it kind of calms you down. And I mean, not all jazz. Obviously, you have like
Sure.
fusion jazz, like where it's just everybody's playing a solo at the same time. Like that would just like be like, what the fuck is this?
It's like a fever dream.
Yeah, but yeah. No, it's got to be like, classical music sometimes. I mean, if I am working late on something, I will put on things that will kind of, that's when I could put on catchy music that reminds me of something just to keep me awake and going.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if I can only relate it to myself. I hate to keep going like, oh, this is my like what I do, but if I listen, a lot of my work is from my I had real turbulent teenage years, and a lot of my work is still that. My style is from that time, and it's now like it's just what I like to create. So I'll use a lot of music from that time that I was listening to just subconsciously be in my head. But I notice if I'm listening to something really aggressive, the work comes out aggressively, and I don't like that.
Right. Yeah.
But something like classical or jazz or something like that is just a steady move of groove that keeps the brain actively moving. But so I was wondering if that's the case for you. If like
kind of is.
music.
Yeah, I try and just focus on just the work, so it's easier for me if it's just to stay focused and everything. And, I have these like timer things too. I don't know if you ever like use these. Like you can set the timer, like how long you're going to work on something. Just to make sure I don't get up from my desk to get distracted.
Right.
Yeah, that's what sucks about working at home is like I'll start mowing the lawn or something. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
I have a painting due. Like So.
And it's hard to especially when you get in the groove of creating something and then like have to go away from it.
Yeah, the flow.
I would absolutely fail in LA where the weather's always good.
Yeah.
Like at least in the winter, like I'm forced inside. Not that I have paintings too, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a distraction here. Like, cause my friends, like they'll be like, hey, we're going fishing.
Oh yeah.
My wife's a nurse or something, or sorry, she's a nurse, and she's like working all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, when she's home, she's just kind of trying to relax and do that. And then, but when people call me, it's like I have the freedom to go do things.
Yeah.
But really, it's
I
just
know.
I can just say, oh, fuck work, I'm gonna go do it, but I can't do that.
But you can.
You can, but you can, yeah. No, I have the same problem.
I'm really not scared of my wife either, like, cause she's busting her ass. So like, I really work really hard just to try and make sure that it's so easy to do that. And teaching, like it's great because it's like, even though I think this semester is the most hours I've ever taught, and it was a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot. It's 18 hours, but you got to prep for those classes, and then you got to drive there and back.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, it was hard to get work done the last 4 months. I was able to get stuff done, but it's like you got to really plan out your day and everything.
Yeah. Do you find now is your creation time something that was scheduled?
Yes.
Do you how's that how you always created? Do you like that way?
No, usually I would just get in the studio. I share the studio with Crayola, Greg Simpkins.
Yeah,
probably,
love him.
right? So I had a studio with him and these 2 or 3 other artists for like 3 years, and that was the most productive I've ever been. So,
would you guys be in the studio at the same time creating? Yeah.
So I'd see him working, and he doesn't procrastinate at all. I don't really procrastinate, but it's hard. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with how many projects I have going, and it's hard for me to get one of them going. But just seeing Greg work was, he just gets in there and starts going. And
that's a good skill to have.
No, I think it's just in him. I think so.
Yeah, that is tough. Getting to I've noticed once it becomes like more of your career, you kind of like that scheduled time for it, and you lose some of that.
I have like a focus
freedom.
planner, and yeah, I gotta lay it out. Like, oh my God, I gotta take my kid here. I got like, oh dude, there's
Right.
so much. It sucks, but it's all. I mean, kids are like kryptonite for creativity, but I wouldn't have it any other way because they're so awesome too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get some creativity out of them, some inspiration out of them, but yeah, they.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you could bring only one of these two back from the dead, which would you choose? Bob Saget or Bob Marley?
I gotta go with Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Saget's funny, don't get me wrong. But Bob Marley was like a musical legend icon. I mean, that would be insane if he was still
Can you imagine? Yeah, and he'd probably still be making beautifve
well, he
poignant music.
could have lived. He decided
I know.
not to get his toe cut off.
So frustrating. I've known that since I was a kid. It was always just so
But
frustrating to me.
what if they just didn't have the treatments? Even maybe the toe would have just held it off for a minute.
That's true, yeah. I think it was only part of the toe, too. But I guess he didn't want to. He still wanted to play soccer, so he went to try and seek alternative medicine in like Sweden or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Or Switzerland.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
such a
doctor's
bummer.
like, no, I know. It's like, dude, come on, dude. I don't know what stage it was in. For all we know, maybe it was already in stage something, and
Yeah.
there was nothing they could do or something.
Yeah, I don't not from what did you
the
see?
early 80s? So
I know
you
that's
just don't
true.
know.
That's true.
What was it? It was the early '80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So mostly avoiding the discussion of AI. I mostly try to stay out of that. But
Right.
do you have feelings towards that and how it's affecting things?
You know, well, they're using it a lot at Otis College. I think it's not going anywhere.
Right.
I have messed around with it just to see, because I have to like see what my students are capable of,
Mhm.
and then as far as like it being useful, it is something you can use as reference. I would never like take something and then trace it.
Right.
So I mean, I did get like there was something I like needed to know how to light Mickey Mouse's head or something, and so I was like, oh, let me see what it comes up with.
That's
Just to
cool.
see the lighting effects and
Sure.
everything. So it kind of really, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So it did give me a good idea of like how to render something.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like people just using it for artwork, I'm kind of against that.
Yeah, I think that some people's worry is that if you could just make AI whatever, then why would artists do it? My argument is always people want to buy from artists, not from computers.
Yeah.
And people that want to buy from the computers, they'll be buying from the computers anyway. So.
So they're doing that. So and like I had to the first time I discovered it though, I didn't even know what it was capable of. It was like 3 years ago during COVID. This one student, like the style changed all of a sudden from one semester to the next, and then he didn't bother to tell me he was using AI. But some of the other students, they already knew, and I'm like. They're like, oh, he's using this program called Disco, something Disco. I forget the name of it. And I was like, well, what? So what part of this painting did you create? Because it was all digital.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, well, I put this character here and I did a little bit of lighting. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool, whatever. But you need to do it from scratch. I don't want you to, just do AI.
Mm-hmm.
So the next painting the guy did, it was fantastic. It had all these characters in it. And I could tell he painted it and did it all like by hand and didn't, use anything. But now they're like, and we put this curriculum together for our students for the last 3 years, me and these other two faculty, and it was all traditional drawing and painting mediums. So they can have an understanding of how to do this stuff if they want to try and do it digitally. And then AI, I don't know who's using AI now at the school and who isn't, but the students all hate it. And understand, understandably so, because they're about it's going to take away their jobs for a lot of things. So, but you can see it. It's the hands always fucked up, or
that's in drawing as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. I think it can be useful because when I go to look for something like, oh, I need a Coke can from this or whatever it is, and then now I can just like you can create something and use it as reference. I would never use it as, like I said, as something, you know, like just trace it.
Yeah.
I did this Mickey Mouse drawing of the painting behind me, like my wife, right? And I did this drawing, and then I kind of put that in to have the computer use it to see what it would do with it. I think I was doing it with the students, I think. And, you know, it rendered out something that, you know, looked similar. It was, you know, okay, but yeah, it's a touchy subject, isn't it? It's kind of like
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me, but I don't know anything about AI. I don't even know anything about digital work. I mean, I know how to operate like Photoshop, but I don't know. I don't really care like what someone else is doing. Like if they want to use whatever they use to create it, that doesn't bother me. The only part that gets interesting is when you start, like if someone starts taking your paintings instead of buying your work, and they're like, well, hey, can AI just make me an original Bob Dob piece? I can just feed in these images that I took from his website.
Well, that's interesting, because I had a guy, he buys my original paintings, the oil paintings, and he messes around with AI all the time. He's just fascinated with it. And then he did a whole thing where it was just my paintings that AI was using to create new paintings. So he put in all these paintings, and I said, create variations of this, and this. And I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy. I mean, they would look like my paintings and characters, but they weren't ideas that I would do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always felt comfortable with. Being a self-taught artist, my technique in general is just my own. I've never worried about that, but I've always been happy with concepts and ideas. That creativity part is the part that I've always just kind of said, like, well, that's me, that's mine. And I feel like that's what people collect as collectors. They collect your ideas and your emotions and your experiences. So I think we're good there, but who knows?
Yeah, I have a problem with them like scrubbing your guys' work. Yeah. And trying to pass something off as you. That's
the issue. Yeah, I do have a friend whose prints of his painting were being sold on Facebook, and they were selling like crazy.
It is what sucks too, because that's one thing that, okay, well, don't have a style that can be so easily copied. But now it's like, now they can just put it in the computer, and the computer,
Well,
that is true. I never thought about that, because, you know, some of these people have really simple, like, and I love both of their styles. I mean, Shag's a little bit more detailed and everything, but, you know, he has a style where people can just replicate it because it's very, But, you know, Luke Chu, do you know Luke Chu? So, you know, his style, he can easily be replicated. I love his concepts and his ideas and everything. And he's actually he's starting to challenge himself a little more. But, I mean, people are copying him left and right. And so now that is interesting, an interesting point to say that now the computer can kind of just like, copy one of your paintings or something. But, you know, I had people that were, you know, stealing my stuff over in
some country,
and Vietnam, and, you know, like, and then I'm like, hey, just pay me some money and I'll, you know, no worries. And some of them would actually pay me.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
had a bail bonds company in the Valley, actually. That was funny, that my friend was a cop for LAPD, and he went by there. He's like, did you tell them that you can use this? I was like, what? And then it was like Mario and Luigi as his logo. It was like something bail bonds or whatever. And then I contacted the guy, and he's like, oh man, I hired this guy to do this, and I didn't even know, which he might have been lying, but I think he was telling the truth, because he was well, I was like, dude, just like, what, pay me, like, I mean, he had it all over T-shirts. It was on his building.
Right.
To design a logo.
Give me $1,000 and we'll call. You can use it. I'm fine with it. So, and technically, because they're not my characters, it's just a.
I'll go turn that off.
Oh, that's my air compressor. Sorry. I forgot. I knew I needed to turn it off. I was building frames for work earlier today.
That's funny. Are those your paintings on the wall back there then? Behind you to the
No,
left?
no,
Okay.
I don't. We have one piece hanging on in our wall of my work. I've never really been. My style is not my style of drawings or creations and paintings is not the style that I buy.
Okay.
Not at all. My style, my creation style is a little too crazy for myself.
Yeah, I
I
can't
want to
even
hang
have,
on our
I
walls.
can't even have my stuff hanging in the house. I can't. I just want to keep fixing it.
Oh,
There's one Conan O'Brien painting I have that I won't let go. Although Conan O'Brien, if he wanted to buy it,
Right.
I would sell it to him. But because there's just a nostalgic thing that when I was in art school, when Conan O'Brien ended, that was when I knew it was time to go to bed because it was like 1:30.
yeah.
So I did like this man-child painting, and then the agent or his manager or whatever contacted me through a friend who's the photographer at NBC. That's the only way we know. And he's like, "Oh, how much for a print and how much for the original?" I was like, "Well, dude, I'll give you a print for free." And the original was like, $3,000 or something. And he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll take a print." I was like, "Oh, come on, dude. We're millions of dollars."
I know. It's
Yeah.
always those guys.
Anyway, yeah.
So he does Conan own the original
Yeah,
piece?
actually, when the writers were on strike, like 6 years ago, I forget how it was long. No, it was like 8 years ago or 9 years ago. He was just in his office, and then it was in the background.
Oh,
So
cool.
Oh,
And then I got to meet him, and I took a picture with him, and he's like, "Oh, thanks for capturing my inner man-child." And yeah, it was pretty funny. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed. I mean, it seems like he would be. Is there something slightly more exciting about like celebrity or someone owning your artwork?
I think so. I mean, the one guy that collects a lot of my work, this little Louis Devil character, is Ian McShane. He plays in those John Wick movies. He plays the guy that owns the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then he played Blackbeard. I don't know if you ever saw that show Deadwood. He plays always these great villain characters, but he's also like a really good character actor. So, but yeah, when I was watching Deadwood, when he bought the first painting, because I loved that show and I loved his character Al Swearingen on it, and he bought the painting, and then he bought another one, and I think I was bringing it over to his house, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to meet Ian McShane and Al Swearingen, and the wife was really nice. She was an actress back in the 70s, I think, and 80s, and I walk in, and she goes, "Oh, Ian's in the kitchen." So I walk in there, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Al Swearingen!" And then he just got out of the jacuzzi. He was like in a robe, He's like, "Oh, would you like a coffee, Bob?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll take a coffee." And he made me a coffee, and then I think I hung out with him like for 3 hours, because the
cool.
Manchester United game was on. He's a big Manchester United fan because his dad played for him, and we just sat there talking about art, and then soccer, and he explained the rivalries, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll be a Manchester United fan." He's like, "Bob, you can't be a Manchester United fan. You need to be a Manchester City fan." Like, I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll be Manchester." It was pretty funny because he was saying like, that's like being a Yankees fan, or like all of a sudden you become a Yankees fan, or like a Dodgers fan, or you need to be that from your birth. You need to start liking those teams. Otherwise, you can't just jump on the bandwagon, I think. So
yeah, you have to suffer all the pain that they suffered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's something about it is just kind of cool. And do you? I know most of your sales of your works through galleries, right?
Yeah.
Do you?
And I do a lot of commission work too.
Do you miss out on meeting the people that collect your work, or is there?
Yeah.
Do you end up? Yeah.
I started going again because you get older, and then I'm just exhausted from driving my kids everywhere, and my younger boy, he plays travel ice hockey, so I'm like never home. We're always flying all over the country to play wherever, and so when I come home, I just want to like relax or whatever. But you know, I was in this Care Bears show, which was pretty funny because I never watched the Care Bears and I kind of hated them.
Yeah, me too.
Right, and but you know, I kind of did this painting that I kind of really liked, so I'll go. I got my friend Brandy Milne and her husband Richard, like they're like some of my closest artist friends, and they're always going up there, and they were going, and you know, I can go hang out with them, it'll be fun. And then I just meeting a ton of these people and just talking about, you know, my art, and it was fun. Like I love doing that with my students, but you know, when you're out there and you have to network. And immediately I got like a commission from just going there. So it's like you just don't realize how important that part of like just networking and talking and going to events and, you know, supporting other artists too.
Yeah.
So now I went to my mentor when I was in art school, Nathan Oda. He had a show at Giant Robot. And that was awesome because I got to meet again some great artists, and some of my students were up there. Like I saw them out at the classroom. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, we mostly meet the artists that collect, or the people that collect my work. I like to hear from them what they're connecting with. It won't change what I create. I just like to hear, like, I like that connection between myself and like something that just came from my mind that they really connected to. What I've discovered, I learn what the piece means because all mine's mostly subconscious based, but I'll meet people that will tell me this is this and this is this and this is this, and I use that in the future. I'm like, yeah, this is.
No, I love that. Yeah.
So I got about 10 more minutes until we go into the dish segment.
Okay.
So let me get a couple of these questions in. Which would you rather see, Bob Odenkirk in a movie playing Bob Dylan or Bob Hope?
Oh, I think he'd be a better. Oh God, that's a tough call. I think he'd be a better Bob Hope, honestly.
Yeah, I like the answer. It would be nice to see a movie made about Bob Hope, because no one knows who Bob Hope is.
My dad would love that. My dad was like, have you seen the movies? You know, and he talked about, oh man, I forget the ones they were, but it's like they made like 4 of these things. Like I forget the road to something, or I forget the name of them. But Bob Hope was a funny guy.
He really was. I
appreciate all those comedians who don't cuss, and that, like, you know, Gaffigan, Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Oh my God, I am dying when my wife and I just can't stop laughing because it's just, and he doesn't cuss.
Yeah, it makes it a little have to work for it a little more. Is there an artist that you're most inaccurately compared to?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's that inaccurate. I don't get it because I'm not. It's. How do I do this? How do I say this without friggin'? Like the fucking Mark Ryden thing. Like, fucking stop with it. I'm not painting big-eyed girls holding pieces of fucking meat. You know, like, stop it. My influences were the Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Magazine, Edward Hopper. There's this one artist, Fernando Botero.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, no, I like, and then all these other people are literally copying him, and he fucking nothing. Like, I don't want to stir shit up, but like, stop. I'm not doing anything. I don't know what it is.
And so people will say, "Oh, it's like your work's like."
Yeah, oh yeah, your like, oh, your clouds look like. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to paint these things then? You know,
I think it's mostly that people don't know.
You know, maybe it's the button nose or something, but that's not a Mark Ryden thing.
I don't see that at all. I mean, yeah. I wonder if it's just people not as like they're just trying to connect or something. You know, I've often wondered that.
Yeah, they want to throw you into some. Yes. it's fine up until the point where it's not fine. But
Yeah, I know.
I haven't had that. I haven't had that happen at all lately. But yeah,
All the time we hear at shows, people will be like, "Oh, it's like what's
Banksy?
Banksy." I'm like, "What the fuck? I use ballpoint pen."
right. I know.
All the time. I just think people don't know, maybe. I don't know. It's just
I think they're just realizing that they know an artist in the modern times period.
Yeah.
maybe.
And that you're an
They want
artist.
to categorize you into. Everybody wants to be put into something,
Yeah.
or not. They don't want to. They want to put things into something. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it helps them understand it maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's
Don't get me
something.
wrong. Mark Ryan's a great artist and everything,
Sure.
but like I don't understand how people can just flat out copy people and then expect, and they're talented too, but it's
Yeah.
a very popular genre. It's just, it's like it's almost like anime in a way. Like everybody's like, anime and manga or whatever is like huge, and all these artists that come into art school, they first draw like that.
Yeah.
Till we get them to expose them to all these other, types of art and things like that. But and kudos to these artists that are kind of just copying Mark Ryden, because it's not an easy style to
Sure.
copy. His painting skills are just phenomenal. But and then and he kind of set the tone, or set the standard for, hey, we're a part of this pop surrealism, whatever they were calling it, lowbrow art for a while, right? So
Yeah.
so all these art, like, oh well, hey, look at he's doing really well. Like we can kind of copy this formula, what galleries, but it's all good. I shouldn't have been so angry when I said that, but
No, it's funny.
but I hate it when people do. I hate it when people do that. Like, yeah.
No one likes to be
Maybe when I
compared
first-
to anybody,
Yeah.
regardless
No.
of how good the quality is. Like, no one really wants, especially
No.
artists. They kind of want, they don't want to be compared to someone. Are you the type to dance in front of a mirror?
No. Not at all. I fucking
either.
hate dancing. My wife likes to dance. Oh my god, no.
Do you get scared watching? Do you get scared during horror movies? Like, are you afraid of horror movies at all?
No, I get grossed out a little bit. Man, I gotta have the sound down, because the sound is what gets you.
It is. Yeah.
If you just watch it without the sound off, you don't get that big burst of sound
Yeah.
that scares you when some cat jumps on someone's lap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The jump scare.
the jump scare.
Not even that. They mess with your blood pressure, I think.
Yes.
The intensity of the
build.
music building.
It's
or-
coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Yeah, it's getting startled, definitely. Yeah, but as far as horror movies go, it's like, oh, this is gonna be gross. I'm just not a fan of them, really.
You're not a fan of horror movies at all?
For some reason, I'm just not. I mean, maybe no.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
Adrian's not. That's what I always wanted to be a special effects artist, so I was totally into him.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have friends of mine that are really into them. So yeah.
yeah, the new ones though are like too gross. Like, just a little too. They're showing a little too much, I think.
Right.
Do you enjoy haunted houses?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever take your kids to haunted houses or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had around where we live. They have these people turn their driveways into these crazy haunted houses.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. What thing did you want to try? What thing do you want to try that most people think is crazy? Is there a thing?
No, I don't think there's.
Yeah.
No.
Have
I'm
you
pretty
have you
blind.
ever like? Are you the type to skydive? Like, do you like those kind of adventurous things, skydiving and shit like
That
that?
would be interesting. I think maybe. I don't necessarily have a fear of. Oh, okay. There is one. Okay, I'd like to do a cage scuba dive with great white
Oh.
shark.
Oh
Wow,
God,
that's-
that seems terrifying to me.
Yeah. I think it'd be
Wow.
awesome. Because the chances are they're not gonna. Although I've seen the ones where the shark gets in the cage. Oh my god.
I have seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, they have those. They have the glass things they drop down where it's like, where it's like, oh, like what? How
And then
does
you're
that?
trapped in there with the thing.
Oh, like a glass protectant. Like
Yeah,
you
it's like
get
a
in.
cylinder thing you drop down, and
Ooh.
then there's no, yeah. But the cage ones look just to see the size of them. But
Yeah.
like one girl that swims with them, she's gonna get eaten.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a girl who swims with them?
Yeah, she's like, look at the sharks, they're our friends, and these things are
Oh.
like enormous. They're like 20 feet and like
Wow.
3,000 pounds, and she's like,
Yeah.
don't fear the sharks, and then
At
Yeah,
some
she's gonna-
point, she's gonna
yeah,
get.
there's no, it's gonna, you just can't keep putting yourself out there like
Right.
Ooh,
I
that's
mean,
interesting one.
But that Vegas guy who
Yeah.
always did the. I
Yes.
mean, eventually they got him.
Yep, animals will always. I heard someone. Who was it? Oh, yeah, I heard someone was saying that's what it's like being around Mike. It's like being around Mike Tyson is like being around a tiger. Like
Right.
at some point, you just it's like really adorable and nice to be around, but
Yeah.
at some point, you're just like, I don't know, something's gonna happen.
Snap.
Do you have a favorite ride at Disney World?
You mean Disneyland or Disney?
Disneyland.
Oh yeah, Disneyland. Yeah.
Disneyland. Probably well, for nostalgic purposes, I'd have to say like either probably the Matterhorn or no,
Oh.
probably Big Thunder Mountain, maybe.
Yeah, Thunder Mountain. Is that the one you like, right, Adrian? The white. Is that the one that's in the dark? Thunder Mountain.
That's Space.
Oh, that's Space Mountain. Yeah.
Space Mountain's good too. The Matterhorn. What is that? It's
I
called.
think that's only in California.
Yeah, the
Matterhorn.
Matterhorn.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
that one's really jerky. It really like messes up your back and your neck. But the other ones flow. They have like a speed to them.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't ride rides, so I get too sick. It's too
Yeah,
much.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I almost died. Like went to Knott's Berry Farm out here, and there was like a crazy ride at the. This is like 10 years ago, and oh my god, my blood pressure dropped.
Oh
And
shit!
I like almost passed out at the end. I was like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. And it was like pulling. I don't know how many G's it was pulling, but
Right.
it was way too much.
Boy, they gotta have like all kinds of things that happen all the time. We're not really around them, but it seems like that doesn't seem natural for humans to be
No,
getting whipped around like that.
Nobody dies at Disney.
No, that's
that's
not true.
true.
They just hide it.
I
well,
know.
they take you out. They don't declare you dead until you're outside the park.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
there was the one guy that hit with the cleat, and his head came off. But for all I know, they didn't pronounce him dead until afterwards. Also,
Yeah, till
There
they're in the
was-
hospital.
there was a few where there was just no way. Like the one person they used to have something called the people mover, and this kid tried to jump from one people mover to the other.
Oh my
Literally,
god!
It ran over his head.
Oh my
And,
god!
Yeah. And there's just like that. How do you? There's an investigation. Like I think that was the only guy that officially died in Disneyland.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So that is what they do, though, right?
Yeah,
That's
they
a
do.
thing. They
Yeah.
don't declare him dead until after.
Yeah.
Bring him to
Oh.
the
And
hospital.
then
or something.
some of they do hide a lot of the violence and the stuff that happened. That stuff doesn't happen that often anymore. But yeah, like stabbing, things like
Oh,
that.
jeez. Oh shit! Yeah, that's parts and
There's
parts
a lot
that
of really
took
good
the fun
books
out of it.
out there on it. Yeah.
Which is more appealing to you, the Monkees' use of Mr. Dabalina in their song Zilch, or Del the Funky Homo Sapiens' Mr. Dabalina?
What's the one that they played on the radio a lot? Like the
Mr. Bobalina, Mr. Bob Dob.
Yeah, that
that one's the Del the Funky Homo Sapien one.
yeah, that one's a little better.
Yeah, the Monkees one is crazy. I don't know if you've heard it. The song's called Zilch, but it is just crazy. Like they just layer their voices on
Right.
top of each other, saying Mr.
Yeah.
Dabalina.
Okay.
And then, would you rather spend a day in Kazakhstan bobbing for apples, or spend a day in Abu Dhabi in Dobby Harry Potter costume?
I hate. No, I'd go with the costume and Harry Potter.
Okay.
No, bobbing for apples is horrible. Yeah.
It is. I even when I think about it, it hurts my jaw.
Yeah.
Okay, one last one, then we're going to go to the Sage's social media lurk. As a child, did you have a favorite game to play? Like Red Rover, Kissing Tag, all those sort of things?
The over the line. You mean like outside playing?
Yeah.
Okay. We played this thing called Over the Line. I think it's called. It's like baseball, but there's no bases, right? So there's like a line, and then you have people out there, and you have to hit the ball. And if you hit it over their head, it's like a single or a double or whatever. Yeah. So
it was with the regular baseball or softball?
it's with like a tennis ball, I think. Yeah. Or you can play with anything, I think. But
yeah, I don't think I ever knew that game. All right, so we have just this segment called Sage's Social Media Lurk, and it's Sage Francis from Strange Famous Records has lurked your media, and he has a question for you.
Hello, Bob Dob.
Yeah.
I was previously unaware of your artwork until Ty asked me to lurk your social media. And like most visual artists, you're not big on words on your social media. You let the artwork do the talking. I love the artwork. That's a cool style. I think in my head, before I put the crayon to the page, I think I'm going to create the kind of things you do. It never works out like that. So congratulations on figuring that out. I love it. Really great stuff. In 2011 on Instagram, you posted a picture of you wearing mismatched Vans sneakers. And the caption was, "This is what you get when you have kids. Nothing matches." Now, my trick is to only own one pair of shoes and never take them off. So that's a pointer to yourself 13 years ago. But now, 13 years in the future, your kids are much older than mine are. What's it like? What is it like when having kids at that age that is different than if you didn't have kids? I'm guessing it's not like mismatched shoes anymore, but is there something that is just slightly annoying or things I should look out for? Okay, thanks. Sage Francis, Strange Famous. Shout out to Ty and Adrian, DOD45. Love y'all. Peace.
No, now they take my shoes now. Because I'm the same size shoe as my two boys. So, yeah, he'll take I have Vans, and he fucking, he takes them and then just ruins them, and then I buy another pair. But, the Vans slip-ons, you got to, like, break them in a little bit. So I go, look, you can have that older pair that are still good, but can you wear these for a couple days?
There you go.
I let him wear them, break them in, but dude, he thrashes them so bad because he's running around, he's skateboarding, and yeah. But yeah, no, they don't. You don't just get you don't find your shoes missing anymore. You just have to put on whatever the hell is laying around. Now it's like you can't even find them because they take your shoes.
Well, are you able to wear their shoes though?
That's true, yes. But again, they leave their shoes. Like, I'll find one of them somewhere. Like, the younger boy is the one that, like, he just throws his shit everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks, Sage Francis. Thanks for the question. Hey, one last question. Are you an art collector? Like, do you collect art?
Yes, I do. I do collect. It's mostly trading things.
Yeah.
But I bought like there's this one artist that did these little drawings on these match booklets, and they were like old match booklets. I think that he goes around and finds to like flea markets and just finds like old boxes of paper and like match booklets, and then he did these like super tight drawings on these, and I was like, oh my god, these are amazing. And then Elizabeth Graff, I bought one of her little watercolors. But most of the stuff I just kind of trade.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where we normally be going into the dish segment, but we decided we want to give you more time with our guest, so we're turning the dish segment into its own thing of extra content. So tune in next week, same time, same place, with this same guest for the additional content of which the Buck65 says is one of his favorite segments of the DOD45 show, The Dish. Okay, that's that. Tune in next week for The Dish, First, Worst, and Thirsts. Now let's get back to wrapping it up with our guest. Peace. Where do you first want people who've never seen your work, where do you think the best place to first discover you? Through your social medias or
I
your
think through the
website?
social media, just Bob Dob, or my website too has a ton, all the artwork on there. That's just bobdob.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's in the near future for you?
So I'm just working on a bunch of commissions, and then I'm gonna try and plan a show coming up with probably here in LA, Corey Helford Gallery. Maybe I got to look to see. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Fantastic.
yeah. And then the band might get back together next year or something for a show. So
We're getting the band back together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to complete the arc of the episode, how do you typically prefer to end your day?
Usually if I'm over at the house, because I have a little workstation over there too. I'm in my studio right now. I'll pour myself a bourbon and then go see what I've accomplished.
Oh, nice. No, that's a good move.
Stand back and look at it.
I mean, Norman Rockwell used to go eat dinner, and then he would go back to the studio to just with his pipe, and he'd just see what kind of progress he's made.
Yeah. Two quick questions on the end of that. What kind of bourbon do you, what is there a specific bourbon you like to drink?
So I go, just every day, where the one that I use the most is just Knob Creek, but there's like a few, my brother-in-law has a steakhouse, and it's like a bourbon and steak type place, and so he has all these really good bourbons, and Mitchers is the one that I kind of go to, but some of them get really expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have the budget for that. I let other people buy that, and then I just drink it.
And then you drink it, yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, Knob Creek, you said, right? Yeah, Knob Creek's a good one. I'm looking up at my collection. I do collect whiskeys. I love a good whiskey. Do you, the next day, like if you've been working on a piece, and then the next day you look at it and it's just so different. Do you do that often? Like, will you sit back and have a different experience with what you were working on?
Yeah, I've had things go where it's like you feel like, oh my God, I didn't accomplish anything. And then you come back the next day and then you realize, oh, this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good. But then, sometimes it's like you think that you kicked ass. You're like, holy shit, what the fuck?
I just shit on canvas.
You gotta paint over it.
Do you ever do the...
Oil sucks in the sense that if you let it, it's not entirely dry, so you can't paint over it, but it's dry enough to where you can't wipe it off.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks. You better know you've made a mistake,
immediately,
or you're not going to come back to that painting in 2 or 3 days anyway, so it'll be dry. Yeah.
Do you ever do the snap a photo with your cell phone of what you're working on and then it just looks different when you're looking at it through your phone?
Sometimes, yeah, and I do. Sometimes I do time-lapse things and stuff like that, but it's just a matter of having kids and then having to teach. It's I forget to do those things because it's just I'm so caught up in just trying to work.
Yeah.
So that's why my social media, I have somebody kind of helping me with all that now, so that he reminds me to, you need a video of this or that, or
it becomes like a whole other job.
Yeah, I can't do. I hate it. I hate the fact that I hate the fact that I got to tell people all these personal fucking things about. I got to fucking tap dance for these people, and it's is my artwork not just good enough for me to post it and write something about it? Now it's here's my studio and there's my cat, and he has 3 legs and fucking got hit by a car or something shit, and then and I'm having my favorite breakfast here. Who loves fucking Cheerios? Raise your hand. It's nonstop. But you have to do it. It's part of the job now. It sucks.
It does suck. And if you're I'm with you 100%. That being said, I appreciate you being on our show.
I love doing these things. I got to see you make this amazing drawing. It came out fantastic.
Well, yeah, and I'll put it. After the episode's done, I go in and do real, give it some way more detail and then add some color, and then I'll ship it out to you as a gift to you, as a thank you.
Oh, nice.
And then, I guess that's That's all I've got. That's the wrap on it. So thanks for joining us, man. It was a pleasure talking to you.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of your work. I have been for a while, and it was a real honor to have you on the show. So thank you for joining us.
I love doing. Thank you for having me. Trust me, the honor is all mine. And it's fun talking about things that are art related and non-art related. So it's.
I like to keep the conversations just like about just kind of whatever goes. I like having conversations with people, and it helps me draw. So I'm not focused on the drawing.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Thanks, Bob Dob, for joining us on the show. Here is the finished drawing. When I spoke with Bob, I asked what some of his favorite cartoon and stuff. He's got a cool painting of Stewie that he's done. Mm-hmm. He's a fan of Tigers and Orca, and then obviously Misfits. I liked his. Those are what I like to get. I like when people have like definite, here are the things that I like, because that makes the drawing go by easier for me. And I love drawing an Orca. Those are like some of the easier ones to draw because you can totally tell what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's the one with the big square head? Is that a sperm? What's the one in that eats the boat?
Probably a blue.
Pinocchio. What's
blue
that
whale.
one?
Probably a blue whale.
Yeah. I guess they all are pretty easy. They all look like something, but they all look like themselves. But for some reason, the Orca that's that.
Yeah, the black and white.
Yeah.
It's just very striking and it's smooth.
Yeah, they don't typically have tentacles as beards, but.
They don't.
And then, if you didn't know, the guitarist is Doyle Wolfgang from the Misfits. He's like the most muscly man you've ever seen in your life. It's almost ridiculous looking. So that's who's down here sitting and playing the guitar. I used the picture. If you look at the legs there, they're sitting like in I guess they don't call it that anymore. Crisscross applesauce. For a reference photo, because it's really hard to draw feet and cross legs on that. But when I was thinking about this drawing, it's the kid from the cover of the Notorious B.I.G. album, the baby, sitting on the cover.
I was gonna say, it looks like he has baby feet.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of picturing, like this baby.
Yeah,
playing
remember,
guitar.
I was like, oh, like Muppet babies, but this is like punk babies.
Yeah. So that's what I used for reference. These legs are from the Notorious B.I.G.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of be the thing that I've put in my notes after the episode ends, to just talk about the drawing for a second, because you're looking at the drawing. And then he's also a big Pantera fan, so I don't know. Some people don't know. It's kind of dark, but that Dimebag Darrell, that whole story, right?
No.
Someone went on stage while they were playing and shot him with a shotgun during a show. It's crazy. I think it's on video. That's way too dark, but that Dimebag Darrell was pretty amazing. Pantera's pretty amazing. I didn't listen to him a lot, but
so did he die then?
Yeah. Killed him on the It's a crazy story. But a big Misfits fan. That was cool. That was a cool conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Bob and Crayola shared the studio space. Like, there's some magic coming out of that studio.
I think that was a past tense.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, it is, because he's in
not.
his new studio.
But yeah, that is funny that he lost a bunch of followers. All those Crayola lovers.
I know.
Don't mess with my Crayola.
Isn't that funny?
Crayola's cool though too.
Yeah, of course, but they're friends.
I know that. I know. I do know. I get it.
All right. Well, so if you're new to the show,
I mess with you all the time on here, and I feel like people.
I know that people don't get it, and vice versa. But
no one cares.
Well, yeah, you just get annoyed. If you're new to the show, the drawing that I was doing during the show is as much as I could get done during our conversation with Bob, and then I later added the color and the detail to it. That's what you're looking at now. That says the finished drawing down there below. That's I've put in some more time with it. All right, my movie share for this episode is a movie called #Alive. It's not spelled hashtag, it's the actual hashtag alive. It's a South Korean post-apocalyptic movie from 2020 directed by someone named Cho Young. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. It's about a video game live streamer's struggle to stay alive from a day one zombie outbreak. So he's doing a live streaming of his gaming, and then other people on the other end, they're like, "Oh, what's that? Turn on the news." And a zombie outbreak is happening. So he goes and looks out the window, and the carnage is taking place. The film mostly takes place inside his apartment, but it's so well done. It's really intense. I found myself so engaged. I completely forgot that I was reading subtitles. It is in, I guess, Korean. It's a different telling than most post-apocalyptic genre of the genre. It's a different way to tell it, I think. And if you can handle high-intensity movies and you find yourself scrolling, I'd say you can stop on #Alive. I think it's on Netflix, but you should seek it out. It's a good one. Again, with so much movie content access, the bar has been lowered to the 2-hour movie is more entertaining than 2 hours of scrolling, trying to find something to watch. That's what my movie shares are, and I can confidently say this movie, #Alive, is much better than scrolling. So do check out that movie. It's a good one. It is really intense, so just know that.
Just don't scroll and go clean your room.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just talking about if you're sitting down and want to watch something engaging.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can do let's do a chore share. Instead of movie share, here, let's do a chore. Go clean your room.
Or let's go do something.
Wash the toilets.
Walk downtown.
No, this is about entertainment.
Okay.
And then my song share, speaking of song shares, all our song shares are on our Spotify playlist. So subscribe to the DOD45 song share playlist on Spotify. It's called DOD45 Loves. That's LUVS. Those are all the song shares we've done on episodes. If you like the music in that song share, you like one of the bands or one of the songs on there, do us all a favor and go buy some of their merch, or actually buy their albums if they have Bandcamps and all that. Our Spotify is just the way to make the playlist. Anyway, the song share is Introduction.
Hello, my name is Pip, and I would like to speak some lyrics into this microphone that's amplified so you can hear it. This piece of diction is the intro to distraction pieces. That's all the shit that flies around my head and keeps me sleepless. Such little food for thought, my fucking brain feels anorexic. So many typos when I write, I'll claim I'm dyslexic. I've got your poem here, I've put it in this envelope.
And it's by Scroobius Pip. Obviously, most of you have heard this, but it's such a great song, and the music video is so fantastic. I believe Scroobius directed the music video. It's so cool. He's like you just go watch it. It's so good. It's like the coolest music video I think I've seen in a long time. So the song's called Introduction by Scroobius Pip. I love the song. How about you, Adrian? Do you have a song share?
Yeah, a very moody, no, not moody, but a feeler. No Goodbyes from Alpha.
Because words don't seem to work on this perfect to hurt, unearthed after something so wrong. And I didn't want to do this in song, but that's our bond. And I may not know where you've gone, but our love is so strong. You do truly exist outside memory.
Oh, yeah.
Not Alpha 7, like I always want to say, but Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he's talking about
Both.
Alias, right?
I don't know who they're talking about. Mestizo and Dose.
It almost sounds like he's getting choked up while he's rapping.
Yeah, it's really.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Dose's verse he's talking about Alias. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
of
I
that.
didn't know. It's a feeler.
Yeah, it really is. If you've lost someone, you can totally feel it, and it really does sound like he's getting choked up. Yeah, it's a great song. Good song share. And then let me just share one other thing. I shared with my family, but there's this dude named Toby Ngiwe. I know people have heard of him. They know his music. I didn't know it. I stumbled across this video on YouTube called Moments at the Crib, and it's him and the group and his wife, and they're in this really beautifully lit room.
The wife's part of the group.
Huh? Yeah, I know. And they're dressed so suave. It looks so great. Everything about it's so great, and the sound quality is so fantastic, and the music is just beautiful.
Big accountants every day just plus some. Can't fight good, but I bust guns. Some sight with me, never duck none. I'm giving my hood babies trust funds. We ain't never going broke, ain't look. I don't play about my 2 little daughters or my son. Or my little baby that's about to come. I leave the demon holier than nuns.
And then pray. Lord forgive me, Lord forgive me, Lord forgive me, Lord forgive me.
His name's Toby Ngiwe, and it's called Moments at the Crib, the newest version. I think it's 2024, possibly 2023. They did another one in I think in 2020-ish, but the lighting's not as great. The music's still great, but this version is so fantastic. I urge anyone to go watch that. All right, let me do a joke, and then we'll get us out of here. You ready for this? You seem
I'm
so
not
excited.
laughing today.
You better. Why did the man take a pencil to bed?
To stab his wife in the head.
Okay, great answer, but not the one. So he could draw the curtains.
Wow. Okay.
All right, you guys, be sure to pick up
Bob Dob.
Yeah, be sure to pick up Bob Dob art through his website at bobdob.com.
Yeah, it sounds like he has prints. Too.
Yeah, he does. He's got prints. He's got originals. He's got stuff printed on metal. He's also got vinyl toys that are really cool. And then he's also got merch there. So go check him out, bobdob.com. Rhyme Fest at Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, August 17th. Adrian and I will be there. So if you see us, say hi.
Steer clear.
Steer clear of Adrian, but come say hi to me.
Just kidding.
Also, I believe tomorrow is the 4th of July. So have a safe and happy 4th of July. That's America's birthday. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Don't forget the people who fought for our freedoms and who died fighting fascists and the Nazi regime.
Also, let's not forget who won.
Right. America.
Oh, wait. I was thinking of the other war.
Oh. Hey, your parents and grandparents fought against that.
The Civil War.
Your parents and grandparents fought against fucking Nazis and you know, and all that. Fascist
But that's
regimes.
not about the 4th of July.
It's not. I'm just saying the 4th of July is our country's birthday.
Right.
And these people fought for our country. So knock off that fucking Nazi affirmation. Just knock that shit off. It's just ridiculous. Hey, we'll be in Madison, Wisconsin next weekend on my birthday, July 13th and 14th, for Art on the Square in Madison, Wisconsin. Come see us over there. Middle finger to X, Twitter rags at DOD45 Show. Subscribe to our DOD45 song share playlist on Spotify called DOD45 Loves. If you like the drawing I did in this episode and you're not following me already, go check out more of my art at ArtByTai on Instagram, and you can buy my art at ArtByTai.com. Also, if you go to DOD45.com, you can buy prints of any of the drawings I've done in these episodes. Follow our podcast for updates and all that at DOD45W on Instagram. And for more in-depth info, go to DOD45.com. And the final one, like, share, subscribe, and review. That does help us land future guests. So the more you do that for us, the easier it is for us to get big guests on the show, and also helps us keep these episodes ad-free. Adrian, do you have a last final word?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Go plant some hemp.
Oh, cool. And be nice.
I'm just kidding. But
you have to smile
like,
to people. If someone smiles at you,
maybe bring it up to your local farmer.
Hemp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to
rotate.
Introduce hemp to your farm.
But yeah, there needs to be industry. But yeah, the turnaround time on that is quick.
And it uses less water too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because the roots go so deep, so I think so.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Plant some hemp. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy drawing, happy conversing. Thanks for conspiring with us, and pick up after your pets, people. Peace.
DOD45.
Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at ArtByTai on all the socials or at ArtByTai.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com, where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.